Remember that time in the 90s when there were so many cookbooks that were copycatting famous restaurants? Well, I have one right here from 1997, and we're gonna go ahead and make one of the recipes in it. So welcome back, foodie friends, and let's just go ahead, jump right in and get started. And here we go, top secret restaurant recipes. You can see that this cookbook is really beat up. We've had some water damage, so this thing has probably been sitting in a basement, an attic, a garage, probably forgotten for a long time until someone cleaned it out and decided to donate it to the library because that's where I found it for just 32 cents. And now we're running the gamut of 90s restaurants, some of which are still in existence today. I'm not really sure about that one, but we do know Applebee's is in there. Poor Big Boy, that one is pretty much gone. I love their cream of broccoli soup. I thought it was the best thing ever when I was a kid, but unfortunately, because of the cream and the cheese, I can no longer eat it. I do remember Chi-Chi's. We had one in Michigan, and it was pretty good. And of course, there's always Cracker Barrel. That's been around for decades. Hash brown casserole, awesome, but same thing. That's got cheese, and so does the chicken and dumplings got milk. We've got Dive, never heard of it. Hard Rock, Hooters, IHOP, Lone Star, Marie Callender's. So if you want to do that chicken pot pie, I guess there it is on page 181. And of course, we've got some other ones like the Olive Garden, Planet Hollywood, TGI Fridays. Now, the recipes themselves kind of crack me up because we're given this diagram for each one, which is hysterical because I'm not really sure why we need to measure each wing and see a diagram of a chicken, but there you go. We have ones that show you how the restaurant serves the dish. Here's Denny's, the Super Bird. You can see that they've already diagrammed exactly how they put that sandwich together. You can see there's a lot of really good recipes in here. This one kind of cracks me up because I didn't realize that you needed a recipe for just cheese on top of toast, but apparently you do, so there it is. Now, it was a little hard for me to figure out exactly what I wanted to make out of this because you see a lot of them has cheese and other dairy products, which I can no longer have. But I did find this one from Western Sizzlins. This teriyaki chicken breast sounds really super good. And here, in case you get very confused, you have a diagram of exactly how thick and tall your slice of pineapple should be and how to place it on top of a chicken breast. It says to serve it with rice and or steamed vegetables. I'm going to do just that. So I've got my brown rice out. I've got some vegetable mix ready. And of course, I've got my chicken and some other things. So let's go ahead. We're going to mostly focus on the stove today. We're going to have several pots and pans going. And unfortunately, this is the best I can do in terms of a grill pan. I don't know what happened to mine. I went to search for it and I can't find it. So either I've already given it away because I didn't think I'd ever use it again, or someone's borrowed it. Who knows? But we're going to use this, and maybe these little bumps right here will kind of approximate a grill. I don't know, but it should still taste good. So that's all we're really concerned about. So let's go ahead, get started, because Mitch is almost out of work, and I'm hungry, and I know he will be too. So my chicken has marinated. I've got my pan really hot. Let's go ahead. This might hurt. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of this marinade in the pan. The book said it should be about 5 to 7 minutes on each side to fully cook. But if you notice, I got really thin cut, so I shouldn't need that long to cook it all the way through. And I've also got my rice going on the back here that's almost done. So we're going to leave this alone a little bit, and we'll come back when it's time to flip it and add our pineapple rings. Okay, I think we're ready to turn these, but look at how much this chicken shrank. I may not even be able to get a pineapple ring on that one. I don't know, but we're going to go ahead and try anyway. We'll go ahead and flip them. And because I poured this sauce into the pan, I ended up not needing that to brush on them while it's cooking. We'll brush a little bit on the pineapple rings just to get that flavor, and then we'll save the rest of it for something else. And on goes our pineapple. I'm gonna put one, I guess, on those little tiny ones anyway. You know, I mean, it'll still taste good. It's just, you know, kind of a little bit disappointing that the chicken was that small. And the recipe says to brush some on that pineapple, so that is what we're going to do. And let's check that rice. Ooh, I bet the rice is done. Let's go ahead and take this off the heat. You can see the grease splatter from the chicken. Now let's check this and see. Oh no, wait a minute. That's got a little bit more water in it. So let's go ahead and put that back on the heat and check that in just a couple minutes. And we're almost done with the taste test. I got the vegetables out of the microwave. I'm going to dress them very simply with just a little butter and some salt. Same thing with the rice, just a little butter and some salt, and that would be done. And then our chicken is basically done. I'm just kind of letting it still simmer in its juices, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stove so it can just hang for a while until I get the other stuff done. But you'll notice I have a little bit of a cleanup here. I've been wiping this stove down, but this was messy to make. Hopefully that means it's really good, because sometimes the messier the food is, the better it's gonna taste. All right, what a far cry from last week.
Oh yeah?
I mean, well, remember we boiled it for hours and we chopped for so long, and
this was like one of the 20-minute meal things or something.
Seriously,
almost, yeah.
Once you get past the marinade, boom, boom. I mean, you're throwing it in the skillet and you're done. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. So now let's see if the taste can compete with that. That is good. Spot on.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. No, let's reserve our 5.
Yeah.
For something that's truly, I'm gonna say really, really good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it a 4, but it's a resounding 4.
Yeah.
Now the rice and the vegetables, we know how those taste. We've had those before. That wasn't a recipe that was in the cookbook. That was just suggested serving. So we're not going to rate that.
Right.
But I actually really enjoy the pairing. I think that all 3 things work really well together on this plate. And so, yeah, what a really good dish. Now, I suspect that has something to do with the 1/3 of a cup of sugar that you put in the marinade. I'm guessing we're eating this and our taste buds are like, woohoo, sugar, we love this. So
pineapple probably doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, and the pineapple and the juice and stuff like that. So this isn't something that I would probably make very often, just because of the high sugar content. But it does make for a really good dinner. So if you're wanting something that's kind of, a little bit special, a little bit different tasting, then yeah, go ahead and splurge for a little bit. I don't think it's going to hurt you. But if you're eating this every day, or if you're putting a third of a cup of sugar into your dinner every day, then you're probably going to have a problem. As far as this cookbook, I'm so split on this thing. There's so many things in here that are kind of off limits for me. So, you've got, it's so heavy on the dairy products.
Yeah.
That it would be pretty difficult. I mean, I know there's vegan cheese. I know there's, lactose-free milk and stuff like that. I've used them. I've been enjoying them.
Yeah.
We've both been using them. So that's not the issue. But because of the theme of the cookbook, restaurant copycat, you're not going to get the copycat flavor anymore if you're taking out all of the dairy products, because the restaurant doesn't, and we all know that vegan cheese just tastes different than real cheese. It's good on its own right, but it's not going to give you that exact duplicate flavor. So,
I would also say, like, the secret ingredient to a lot of them was a lot of extra sugar hidden in something somewhere.
Yes, I mean, yeah, so, like, of course. So this is a lot of sugar, sodium, and dairy.
I would say it's very, like, comfort food heavy.
Oh, big time. And
it's really hard to find anything that doesn't use some kind of cheese, even like,
Right. So probably for me, I will probably be donating this to a different library or, wherever.
Yeah.
Or maybe see if somebody wants it that I know. Because it's kind of not worth it for me to just constantly substitute everything in there with dairy-free options. I would also say that some of the recipes are just kind of ridiculous. Like, I showed you the cheesy toast.
I don't need a recipe book for cheesy toast.
I know. Place 1, craft single on top of bread, toast. I mean, it's like, you don't need that. So, you go in expecting a ton of recipes for, copycat, really good copycat ones, right? But instead, you get maybe one copycat, really good signature one like this from a restaurant. And then the rest of them are just toad in the hole, toast bread, crack egg in hole, make in center of bread, cook, eat. And it's like everyone knows how to make a toad in the hole. That's not a signature dish, right? That's just kind of silliness, I think. So I'm kind of torn on this cookbook. I think there's some really good ones, like if you're really wanting to know, Cracker Barrel's chicken and dumplings, it's in there. But then you also have to contend with cheesy toast. It is kind of weird. I think what I would say is, if you're really, really wanting a copycat recipe, you can find tons of them on Pinterest and the internet now. So you don't need to buy an entire book of them anymore and then have to contend with all the ones that you don't want or can't use. You can just go online and just pinpoint, Cracker Barrel chicken and dumplings. There's going to be someone that copycatted that recipe online. So I'm going to say, this tastes really good. I'm going to keep this recipe, but I'm not going to keep the cookbook, and I don't know if I would go out of my way to find it. So there you go. There was a split one.
Yeah.
Mitch, you picked a so-so cookbook out of our pile, which mostly is because of me being lactose intolerant, so that's kind of not the fault of the cookbook. but then we got a really spectacular dinner out of it. So yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching this episode, and we will see you next one. We're actually still going through our library book sale books, so we're going to continue through August, and then September, we're going to cut it and do something completely different. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.